Okay, record on this computer. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so tonight, you guys, is basically just, like I said, it's not going to be so much of a content Zoom. It's just more of something, like I said, that's on my heart. And then I think it might hit home, it might not, but just due to my circumstances. And like I said, some of you may not know, but my dad died 3 weeks ago in a tragic car accident. Okay. And it's like changed my entire world. Okay. And I'm going to try to do this without crying, but I feel like in the last few weeks, I feel so strong. Oh, Quita, hi. I just feel so strong in what I want to share, because this business has a lot to do with the last few years of my life and the decisions that I've made. And I think sometimes, like, we start this business for something so small, but then you realize like how life-changing it can be. And that's kind of what I want to share with you today. And kind of, I know you're so sweet. I might at some point. So I want to create some vision for you, and just know that like life is always going to happen, whether we want the things that are happening to actually happen or not. And the beautiful thing about this business is that it can be built in the midst of tragedy, in the midst of hard times. Even though it's hard, right? Like, there are times you want to just be like, I just don't feel like doing this. And we tend to put it to the back burner because it's easy to put it, because we're our own bosses. Some of us have full-time jobs, some of us don't. Sometimes some of us do this full time, but it's easy to put it in the back. It is. So what I want to share is, I'm already getting off track. See, I'm going to go to my notes. But like I said, I felt compelled to share this. So I hope it speaks to you. And you're going to see me looking at my phone because my notes are here, because I wanted this to be valuable for you. So I felt like I had to write it down. Okay. So it might sound like I'm reading. Sometimes I'm going to just jump in and add something, but, so the thing about this business is that you can create legacies for your family. Okay. Whether it be financial legacies, legacy can mean a lot of different things. And what I've learned losing my father is that he created such a big legacy for us. Okay. He was his own entrepreneur. He didn't do network marketing. He didn't do a business like ours, but he set out to create this life for his family, not knowing he would leave us so young, but I feel like we get to live that on. Okay. And I feel like most of us, and you hear some of the top leaders in our company or whoever in our business talks about like leaving legacies for their family. Right. And I hear it, and I agree with it, but it never really like sunk in me until just recently. Okay. By losing someone I love dearly who did create a legacy, which I knew what he was doing, but I didn't sometimes you just don't think about it, or you take it for granted. You think the people that you love are always going to be there. Right. So, so that's kind of what I want to focus on. And the thing is, you guys, is that we as leaders, or even if you're sponsoring somebody brand new, we can teach and give you the tools, like the technical tools and the tasks to do, right? Like that part is easy, you guys. What we do in our business, like if you were to just go to eSuite and print off like your daily task sheet, like you could rock that out in like an hour. Okay. But for some reason, like sometimes we just don't do that, right? Like we put it over here because we've got other things going on, which some of us have children. Like I said, some of us have other jobs. There are other priorities in our life, right? But when the hard times come, we tend to put this to the side, like, oh, it's just my side business. It's not something that's important. But I'm like, okay, that's so much bigger than that though. All right. So we can teach you the technical skills, give you the content, show you the tasks, but what about your tactical skills? Okay, so your tactical skills are like the actual decision making. Okay, it's going to be what drives you to actually say, okay, like I'm going to do these tasks. And you have to have both in our business, right? You actually have to do the tasks, but you also have to like do them even when you don't feel like it, right? Like there are just like, if we always did things the way that we felt, you guys, we'd be hot messes, even though I'm a hot mess anyway, but like it would be bad. right? Like we wouldn't do anything probably, because who feels like doing chores and like, right? Like, but you do them because you know that you have to, you know, you're going to be better for it. So you have your tactical skills and your technical skills. And I kind of want to focus more on the tactical side, which is your decision making. Okay. And like I had said earlier, like we have, we every week, you guys, oh, hi, Dylan. Hi, Pam. Everybody's Danielle, we can go and just print all that off. We can go watch YouTube videos. You guys, we know how to do the work. We do. Like sometimes we think that we don't, and we hang on to like the wording or like, and it's just like, it's so much more than that. Okay. And so I have a question, and it's why don't we sometimes do the tasks? Okay. Like for me, for example, when I first started, actually, no, it was probably after I felt like I lost my momentum. I would hang on to every Zoom, you guys. And I learned so much that I got stuck in learning. Like I got stuck learning the skills and never really like I felt like I was learning so much that I wasn't taking the action. Okay. So again, you have to decide like to take the action, right? And I feel like, I don't know if this is speaking to anybody. I don't know if that is something that you do where you're like, okay, like even on the Zoom right now, you may take what I say and be like, okay, it might be useful to you. It may not. But at the end of the day, you guys, we started for a reason, right? So like when I started this, it's gonna be almost 7 years. I cannot believe this. 7 years I started this. Okay. Girl, you know that I get stuck learning. Yes, yes, yes. And you had the courage to say yes to this opportunity. Like and I was sweating bullets. I don't know about you guys, but when it was time to sign up to do this business, you had courage, right? Like you probably had fears, but guess what? You did it anyway, right? Because you saw something not only in yourself, but you saw something in the opportunity. Because why would you start anything brand new that you didn't, one, think that you could do something with it, right? Like, why would you do that? And two, you saw the opportunity in this. Okay, so I want you to remember that. So why do we like tend to push it to the side, right? Like it's just crazy to me. And I say this because this was me. Okay. So I don't want you to think I'm talking at you. Like this is me to the core, right? So when I say these things, it's like it can flow out of me because I've experienced it and I've done it. So I can tell you why I got caught up. So I told you I was in training mode for a long time. But you guys, honestly, like I always thought time was on my side. Okay, so I always thought like, okay, so it's all right. I missed this bonus or I missed whatever like is going on. We first of the month, we're like, yeah, like let's go. Like we're all like ready, right? But then like, you're like, like maybe you didn't hit it, or maybe something really hard happened that month and you didn't give it what you thought you were going to do, right? So they're like, it's fine. We'll do it next month. Maybe Mark will do the bonuses again. And I say bonuses, and that's just because that's something that they change up every single month or whatever. So I'm just using that as an example. It could be anything, but mine is time. Like I'll do it. I could do it. I could do this in 2 months, right? Like it's fine like that I didn't get it. But the problem with that is that time does not wait for you. Here I am 7 years later, and I'm like, what the hell have I been doing? Do you know what I mean? Like you're just like you look at it, and again, I think I have like this different perspective because of what's happened recently, and I'm like, okay, what the hell have you been doing? You think that everything is going to be peachy keen, and it's just sometimes it just doesn't work out like that, right? So, and like I said, your life can change in a second. Any single thing can happen in your life, and you wish that your circumstances were different. Okay, so like. Thankfully, when I said yes to this business, I was able to pay off debt to be able to say, okay, like I'm ready to be at home full time from my corporate job. Like I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take my business full time, because I actually worked towards paying off, car loans, credit card debt, whatever. And it allowed us to free up that money and then put some into savings so I could stay home. My husband could work because he's got a busy job. I know you guys have probably heard me say this before, but I'm just looking back and thinking. And last year was my very hashtag COVID though. It like felt like it was like, really, I like decided to leave my, like, it was just crazy. You know, everybody's life was rocked last year. But anyways, last year I was able to call up my father and be like, Dad, because he could leave, like it was his birthday and he could go and have lunch with me in the middle of the day when I never was able to do that before, right? Like I had to go to work, which is what we have to do, right? We have to like provide and all of that. So it was fine. That was my life. But when I knew when I could be at home, I could, what meant most to me, and this is going to look different for everybody. So I don't want you to think like quitting your job, like all of that, like that might be your goal. Okay. And the crazy part is like, you could do this as a career and make some excellent money. Okay. Maybe you love what you do and that's amazing. And you just use this to put your kids in sports or whatever that is in your heart and why you started. Okay. And it changes too. But for me, mine was freedom of time. Mine was like, I want to be able to take my kid to the doctor and not have to, my boss to tell me that I can't. Like, honestly. Then it was like, oh my gosh, I could go take my dad for lunch. I can go take my mom for lunch, but my mom just retired. So I don't mention my mom a lot because she was a workaholic and just now I get to have new adventures with her because she's retired. But this business has allowed me to have the freedom and create the memories that I hang to so tightly now. But it's because of the little decisions that I made before that I didn't know it was going to lead up to this. That's the crazy part is you don't know what life is going to bring you. You have no idea. Things can change in a minute. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you started this because you wanted something out of it. So it's time to like actually put your feet in and get in it and start going after your goals and dreams, because the worst that can happen is that you fall a little bit short. That's like, but yet you're so far more ahead than where you were. You know what I mean? But what's best case scenario? That you like surpass your goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of just staying stagnant and waiting for the right time or waiting till you feel like it, or oh, see, I'm already off my notes, but you get what I'm saying, you guys. Okay. So the choices that I made, even though at the time I didn't know these things were going to happen, I'm so freaking grateful that I did like decide to pay off my debt and have more time and do all the things. Okay. And I know that that's, like I said, this is just my story. This can affect you in so many different ways. And it's such a blessing in so many ways. Okay. So what I was saying about my stories is, so last year I like got teary eyed in my stories. I was talking about how I was going to go pick up my dad for lunch and like how amazing this is, because that's why, one of the reasons why I decided to go full time in this business and start creating that legacy for my family. And here we are a year later. My dad died right before his birthday. And I was just like, this is so crazy to me that here we are. A year ago, I was like in tears, like how grateful I am for this business to be able to do those things. And now I hang on to that because I'm like, holy crap, like had I not done the little things, the little choices, I would have missed out on so much, you know? And again, like it's going to look different for you, but yeah. Okay. So let me get back on track. So, let's see. Okay. So I think it's important to know why you are doing your work, like the work and what the small tasks mean. And that's why I was saying like earlier, you know, even though like we have our why and it will change, because I started for $200 a month, did not know my life would change. I didn't even know I wanted to be at home full time with my kids. I'll just be very honest with you. That's not, maybe because I never thought it was an option for me. So it just really is important to know now more than ever that every single little thing that you decide to do, messaging, posting, it means something. And even though it doesn't happen right that second, that night, that next week, I'm telling you right now, like it happens years from now. It does. Okay. Now we all know things can happen fast. Okay. We know that depends on how much work you're doing, how intentional you're being with your time. You know, again, it looks different for everybody, but what you do today sets you up for later. Okay. So
Hi,
don't
hi.
be, oh,
Let me see.
don't be discouraged in if things aren't going fast, but also be what's the word? Like I'm reading that book, Win the Day. I don't know if anybody's reading that with corporate right now, but I absolutely love it. But if you've won your day, like in your tasks, okay, it's not always about like, and I think Quita said this a while back, and that actually really resonated with me. Is it's not about the goal that you're getting. It is essentially, but you have to do the little tasks to get to the goal. But if you've done the task for the day and maybe you haven't seen the fruit yet, but you feel dang good that you knocked out your task list and maybe you did it twice and you're like, I'm killing it, right? Like that, you guys, is what builds so much bigger later. Like life changing, life changing. Everything that I've done up until this point, I realized even though I didn't, I like I told you, I was in training with all of that, even the littlest of things that I did matter today and will matter for years to come. So imagine if I actually did the training, put it to action right away, like where I would be now. So just think about that for a minute. You know what I mean? So if you're doing the task consistently every day, you have no choice but to hit your goals. It's just a matter of when, right? So yes, Quita. Okay, so the tasks may seem meaningless, like they aren't getting you anywhere today, which is what I said. But let me tell you, they lead up to your goal, which is your freedom. Whatever that looks like. Again, it could be financial freedom, it could be freedom of time, it could be just feeling like you can travel the world and not have to worry. Like, I mean, what is that for you? Exactly, Ronnie. It's planting the seeds. And sometimes seeds take a long time to grow, some sprout faster than others. But that is what this is. Okay, but if you just even in the Bible it talks about the mustard seed, that's all you need. Right? You need like God applauds the mustard seed that you do. But if you don't plant the seed, how the heck is he supposed to bless that? He can't because you didn't do it. You know what I mean? So and when you don't feel like it, the reason why you started, and like I said, it needs to drive you, because when you don't feel like it, Drago, come. My dog's trying to escape. When you don't feel like it, you need to look at your why and be like, all right, it needs to be right here. It needs to be written down, and it could be in picture form, written form, whatever it is. That is the driving force for you to continually be consistent. You won't feel motivated, and it's not anyone's job to motivate you. Okay, that may sound rude, but it's true. I think we've all at one point have tried to motivate somebody, but if somebody wants it, they want it. Okay, we can lead them to the water, right? We just can't make them drink the water. That's up to them. So us doing these calls every Sunday and providing content, at the end of the day, it's really up to you if you actually follow through and do it and not wait every Sunday and that's all you do, right? It's going to take a little bit each day to achieve that. So yes. Oh, hi, Beth. Nice to see you on here. Okay, so most people do give up before they even see the fruit. And it makes me so sad because look at what they're missing out on. Like people get frustrated when they do the work and they don't see anything. And it's like, but you like if you just look, if you don't focus on the result right away, like, right? Like, because if you do that, you're always going to be disappointed. You can't control other people. You can't make people sign up. You can only plant the seeds and you can only water them and nourish them and hope that they grow. Some die off, right? Like, that's just the truth of it. It's all good, Yvette. So I hope that Where did I scroll to? Okay, there I am. And you can't wait for exactly, Bree. You can't just sit there and plant a seed and expect that seed to grow very quickly. You have to. I mean, it could, but you got to plant a bunch of seeds. And like I said, God's going to bless you for doing the work, because this work is a blessing, and it can change somebody's life. It can change a family's legacy. It can change your legacy. It can change the way that your children live their lives. Like, this is huge. But I think we're so used to, I didn't know how to dream. I didn't, my mom was what does she call herself? A realist. She was like, yeah, literally, and I love my mom. She retired. I'm so proud of her. She worked so hard all her life. But she says, I don't dream. What did she say? Like, and I like, this was just recently. I don't think past what I can achieve. I can't remember what she said, but it was basically like, she's never not going to dream because she's just no, it's not going to happen. I'm just like, Mom, like, it's crazy. That's how some people think, but that's just, and that unfortunately is just how it is sometimes. But I'm just so thankful that I like saw more, and I want to instill that in other people. But again, we can only inspire, we can only plant the seeds, we can only show them, and it's up to them to decide how it's going to play out, right? Okay, so I'm so grateful. Okay, I could have thrown in the towel, right? Okay, so just for like a moment, you guys, I want you to take a minute and just really reflect. And if you've been in for years, it's probably changed. But if you've been in the business a few months or a year, I want you to just reflect on really why you started. And I want you to just think back to like the feeling that you had when you hit submit, and what you saw and what the hope was. Because I know for me, it was a big deal. Maybe to some people, it was super easy to just say, yay, I'm like doing this business. I was like terrified. So it was I did it despite the fears that I had. But I want you to take a moment, reflect why you started, write it down. But I also want you to write that down. But I also want you to write down what it is that you want to really achieve from this. Because if you say, okay, I want to make $500, that is great. But what is that $500 going to do for you and your family? How is that going to change your life? Put a meaning to what it is that you're doing. You have to put a meaning. Money is amazing, but if it's not, like, it doesn't have a purpose, then it just becomes money. Like I want you to just really write it down, think about it, whatever it is that you're going to do. What will that 500, 5,000, 10,000, 12,000, 20,000, $30,000 a month, what would that do? It would change so much. So just take a second, think about it, because that is literally the vehicle. This is the vehicle to get from the starting point to that point, right? But what matters is like the middle of all of that, right? It's so crazy because it's literally planting seeds every single day. But how many seeds you're going to plant, right? Like that's what Bree was saying. You can't just plant one seed and expect to go ambassador diamond. That just doesn't happen, right? It takes work, takes consistency. And I don't think Sarah's on here, but she can probably tell you, she probably kept her vision right here in front of her, the entire time. And that's what kept her going, even when challenges arose or life happens, right? It's not just challenges in the business or people tell you no, or they're rude or they leave or whatever. We all have had that, because that is going to happen. That's just part of what we do. And that just happens in any job. People change jobs all the time, but life is going to happen. But know that it's important enough to keep going and to work through the challenges. So that is what will take you far in this business, more than we can imagine. And I think, even though, like I said, I was stuck in this hamster wheel of training, but I did the work. I could have done more, but you guys, what the small amount of work that I did, God blessed it so greatly. And I see that now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I actually, instead of just training, and actually did, imagine what would happen. And that's the same for all of us. That's the same for all of us. So if we can come on the trainings, but you got to do the work. You got to know why you're doing the work, or else it just is boring. And it's like, this should be fun. Like, honestly, I think I was even crying. Like I'm in like, obviously in grieving mode. You guys, I'm signing DTs, loyals. Like, how am I even doing that in the midst of this? Honestly, like if you would have told me or asked me, gosh, do you think you can work this business if somebody really close to you died in your family? I'd be like, no, absolutely not. How would I do that? You know what I mean? But we're so much stronger than we think we are. And it's not that my dad's life and his importance isn't meaningful because I decide to work. It makes it more meaningful. It makes it more meaningful because that is what, one, that he would want, but two, we only have one life. And if you're going to be in this business and you're not a quitter and you're not going to quit, go after it. Time won't wait for you. It's not going to do it. Okay. And of course I jumped in my notes, but let's see. Okay. So I wrote down, I said, I know some of us, and I don't want, and I'm not afraid anymore, but I used to be a long time ago afraid of doing certain tasks like messaging. I don't know if you like are afraid of messaging, you guys, like, are you like, drop a 1, like, honestly, just, and if you still do it, but you're still afraid, like, just drop a 1. Because the thing is that the fear is just your distraction, guys. Okay, look, so you guys, yeah. So fear is just your distraction to stop you from getting what you started, like doing what you started this for, you know? And I'm going to go back and read these in a minute, but I know I'll get off track. It's a distraction that's getting in the way of your goals and dreams. We only have one life, right? Just one. And like I said, put your 2 feet in. Go fast in the sense of being intentional with what it is that you're trying to achieve. Okay. So It Works has given us every single tool, maps, steps of success, daily task lists, trainings, like we have it all. Figure out what the income is going to do for your family. And then get your goals in front of you, get your map in front of you and say, this is what I'm going for. I wish I had my maps over here, but this is what I'm doing because this is what is going to change everything for us. And guess what is the best part about that is all those people on your map their life has changed too. And to me, that's like God's purpose. You can't succeed without taking people with you. You have to take people with you in order to build this. And I think that's amazing. So if you want to move in this, you got to start really figuring out what you want to get out of it, because then you're not scared to message. You're just like, I don't care who says no. I don't care who's rude. I don't care who says this, because you're not there for those people. You're there for the people that single mom that is like, oh gosh, like I could really use some extra money. And you change her whole life because you were courageous enough to ask her. Because remember, you were courageous when you hit submit because you saw something in yourself and you saw something in the opportunity. But sometimes we get lost in all that because people start judging us for what we do. They do, right? Like we probably have had people be so rude to us. You know what I mean? And it's just, we're not here for them though. And we all know the devil stops to try the good. So just know, like when you start going, like hitting it hard in your business and doing all the things that you're wanting to do because your why is so important, guess who comes knocking at your door ready to throw you off your track? The devil. That doesn't mean that this isn't meant to be now. Like, I feel like some people are like, oh, well, that was a good run. Like, it's just like, no, the devil is stopping you because you're about to change some lives for the better. He does not want that. So whenever you feel discouraged, whenever you feel like you don't want to, whenever you feel like somebody's negative comment has crushed you, remember that none of that is part of your like vision, right? Your vision is to like change lives, do all the things, but and all good comes from God. And then whatever is like evil and mean to you and like kicking your butt, I would be using other words, but this is Zoom. I feel like I want to say other things, but I'll get too into it and then I don't want to offend anybody, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. I'm just being real with you guys. So when you get your butt kicked, like you want to stop because you're like, holy crap, I'm like trying to promote and like all these things are happening. This sucks. It sucks. But guess what? This business, if you just push past that, I almost feel like God rewards you for keep going. Are you going to have bad days? Yes. Like I'm not here to be like super hardcore where like forget everything. Like that's not what I mean. What I'm trying to tell you is you can change your life and continue to be on your goals. And this business will change your life, but maybe you don't know how much it's going to change it. But if you continue the small task every day, you will eventually see that fruit and know. Okay, so I wrote, you'll be able to work through your challenges even though it's hard. Why? Because you decided to be relentless in your decision, right? That your decision to work, because your work is meaningful, because you know what the work is going to do later on. So just think of it like that. Like, oh, I got to do my coffee post today. Well, why? Because you want to change someone's life and have them some bomb coffee, but you also people start to follow you and they're like, wait a minute, I want to do this too. And then it just starts from there. It's not just a post, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, why do you send the message? Because you're trying to find the people that need it. Why do you want to find the people that need it? Because you want to find leaders that you can build this massive team with, where you create layered lead. Like it's so much bigger than just a post. Like there's meaning behind every single thing that we do. Okay. So right now, just decide, okay, you're here, you're on this Zoom, we're in the business, we do all the things, but decide that this is your home and it's your courage to start. So this doesn't even make sense what I wrote, but basically, decide this is your home and your courage to start this business was just the beginning to something that is great. Okay. So, and I hope that made sense because when I read it, I felt like it didn't. Don't quit before you see the fruit. And don't put it off. Right? Like just do it. Like make the time. Don't push it to the back burner. I get like I said, like if you're doing at least one thing for your business that day because you've had a really hard day, like that's a win because you had a crap day. You're like, okay, like literally all I had was time to do this one thing. Applaud yourself for that, but also applaud the days that you work your booty off and know that you won that day. You know what I mean? Not every day is going to look perfect, but if you consistently are doing it every day and taking your Sabbath, okay, if you guys don't take a Sabbath, take a Sabbath. And the Sabbath is meant for us to work so hard and then we get to rest. So make sure that you're taking that day for yourself to, recharge. And that's how God blesses your work too. Okay, I'm not here to be preachy, but I'm just sharing that with you because when I say every day, I mean like the days that you are choosing to work, and then make sure that you're taking time to rest too, because that is very, very, very important. Okay. And don't allow the opinions to drive you. You guys keep that decision and why right in front of you. That's honestly how I'm able to keep going despite like how brokenhearted I am. You know, like my why and the reason for doing this is more strong. I don't know if it's just because losing someone you love changes you. And I could choose to lay in my bed and cry all day, which is, I have moments like that. Okay. Cause my dad was so special to me. Like we were so close, but he wouldn't want that. Right. My kids need to see me too. I want to make them proud too. Right. Show my kids too, like, okay, like I'm hurting so much, but we're going to live our lives and do the things that we said we were going to do, because that's what our dad, our grandfather would want. He wouldn't, if he were to like hear me right now, he'd be like, girl, get it together. You got this. Like you do this for, your family. And so that's what keeps me going, you guys, honestly, right now, because it hurts. It hurts. Like none of that was expected. So this business has changed me for the better because I was able to create memories, because I said yes, because I decided to do these things. But I didn't know why I was deciding them. I did know what I wanted, but I didn't know, like, I don't know. I felt like God was so good to me for saying, like having this calling on, and I was like, okay, like I'm making these decisions and it's great. It's scary, but like, I get it now. You know what I mean? Like I get it. And again, everybody's going to have something different. So, life will always be happening. There will always be something going on in your life. Don't wait until you feel like it, because again, time doesn't wait for any of us. It continues on, and you get to decide if the time you're spending is worth your results, right? Like, which is your why. Okay. So no, like life is always going to happen no matter what. Okay, I'm gonna read. I have a couple of other things, but I want to read through these really quickly. And I hope I didn't get too preachy or any of that. I just needed to share my heart tonight. I apologize for not having posts ready, but I'll be frank with you. Like I can barely come up with some of my posts right now. So I don't want to give you anything that was not going to be of value to you. Okay. But I will tell you though, as far as content planning, I want you to post something from your heart tonight. Like I want you to, and it could be about anything. I want people to feel you in your heart tonight, whatever that is. It could be anything, but that's how you connect with people. Now more than ever, I have so much faith in people. Like people have supported our family in this whole tragedy. And that has honestly too what has kept me stronger and keeping going, because people are amazing. I think sometimes we lose faith in people, especially in the type of business that we have, because people can be rude. Some people can can leave and all of that. I want you to do something from your heart tonight, because I think that means the most. Okay. Make your audience feel your authenticity. Show your face and be proud of what you have to offer, because what you have to offer is truly life-changing. Even if you're just starting, or you've been in this for a long time and maybe you lost your fire. Okay. Like you have something that can change everything for someone. And to be a part of that, that's a life fulfilled. Like that is like fulfilling, right? Like I know for me, if like some of my teams on here, like it means the world to me if they hit their goals. Like how cool is that? You know what I mean? Like that's just, I don't know. That's just amazing. So that's what I want you to do tonight. Get in your story, show your face, lead from your heart, lead with you guys, I can't talk. Authenticity. Did I say authenticity? I feel like I'm going crazy. Show your heart, because that's what people connect to. And then when they see that you're offering something that's so amazing and they feel connected to you, like they're gonna like, it's gonna be great because you've made a connection with them. Okay, so for those, I don't know if there's anybody brand new. I don't think that there is, but if there is, know that if you're not on Telegram, okay, our team has a Telegram app that is amazing, has a bunch of pictures, content. If you're not on there, please drop below that you don't have it. We can help you get on it. Make sure that you're using Road to VIP. You guys, they offer so many amazing trainings. If you've never done a corporate training, like their Power Hour, like if you could do one of those, it's actually really good. Amber goes through it really quickly and shows you that you could do your daily tasks in 1 hour, and it's great. Okay. Also, because we just had $20 kits, I'm assuming all of us have we've signed DTs. Okay. We came up with the step-by-step training to launch DTs. I don't know, like if we have that somewhere, but we can figure that out. My mind is mush. So Bree or Quita, maybe, I don't know, we could figure that out. Okay, but if you have new DTs, we have a system to help launch them. Okay, so that, and I love it. Okay, it's amazing. And then, you know, if there's something that you need help with, like more, like if there's something that you need to work on that we haven't covered, you guys, YouTube is filled with so many amazing videos from all of our team, like even people that are on this particular team, but there's so many good things. I know because I used to, that was me. I was a YouTube training girl, but I learned a lot. Okay. Boards. Yes. Boards has an amazing 30-day. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Good. Thank you, Pam. Yes. Okay. All right. So what else? Oh, I was going to read through these. Yeah, because that's all I have. So let's see. Okay. Built to double diamond with YouTube. Yeah, no kidding, Bree. Yeah, work and then pray. Do you know that I pray, you guys, that that I like will find my gems, and I pray over my team and just pray for the belief, and just like I truly feel like that helps. I don't know if that's silly or not, but I do really do that, and it's I don't know, it's kind of awesome. Okay, so let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Riley. Yes, absolutely. I wasn't going to do tonight. They asked me if I wanted to, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to feel. And then I can't even remember when I made the decision, but I was like, I need to show up still, because this is my happy place. This is like, I don't know. And I felt like God tugging on me, like, you got a word to share, girl. You got a word to share. So I'm trying to be obedient, you know, and I was nervous because I'm like, I don't want to be a hot mess and start crying, like, and not bring value to these amazing women, you know, like I just didn't want that. So thankfully I held it somewhat together. Yeah, Sabbath changed my business too. Okay, the devil, yes. Okay, I just wanted to read some of these. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring them, but I just love you guys so much. So that's really all I have, you guys. I know we didn't go the full hour. Like I said, just the smallest of things that you do every single day matter, and they build up to such amazing things later. So that's really what I wanted to say, and that this business can change your life even when you don't even know why it came in, but it's like I said, it could just have been for the $200 like me, but I got so much more, and I have so much more to do, and so much, I feel like there's so many more blessings that need to happen. And I want to be there for that. So, let's see. Okay. Veronica's a newbie. Welcome, Veronica. Probably, that was probably heavy for you. Was this your first Zoom? Sorry. I hope I inspired you, Veronica. I didn't scare you. That's awesome, girl. You keep it up. That's awesome. But okay, you guys, that's all I have. You are human. Oh, thank you, Renee. That's awesome. You guys are so good. Well, thank you for helping me walk through that, because I thought I'd be a mess. But all right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you soon.